Hi everyone, my name is Michelle Chaput and I'm a researcher at the Laboratory for Paleoclimatology and Climatology at the University of Ottawa, and I study human-environment interactions in the context of an early Anthropocene by synthesizing archaeological and paleo-environmental data. The archaeological data set I use comes from the Canadian Archaeological Radiocarbon Database, or the CARD, and the CARD is an online collection of over 30,000 geo-referenced cultural and paleo-environmental radiocarbon dates that are derived from organic materials such as bone, wood, or charcoal. And when archaeologists excavate a site, most often they'll collect samples of organic materials, carbon date them, and submit these data to the database. And this has resulted in the vast distribution of dates that you see here. If we look at some time series of the dates from North America in the card, we see there are many more cultural dates than there are paleoenvironmental dates. Notice the y-axes on the right-hand sides. And we also see that the farther back in time we go, the less dates there are. And one of the reasons for that is because of taphonomic loss, or the natural breakdown or degradation of organic materials with time due to natural processes like weathering and erosion. One way to interpret these data is known as the dates as data method, which suggests the frequency of radiocarbon dates is proportional to population density. So based on this interpretation, the exponential increase towards the present indicates a massive population growth following, for example, the exploitation of large mammals, or the development of agriculture, or the ability to obtain more food in less time, and things like better health and reproductive strategies. And the sharp decline in the last 500 years could be due to the loss of over 90% of the indigenous population following the spread of European diseases, and also the transition to more modern, non-radiocarbon dating methods. The website for the card makes the visualization of the location and age of samples really easy. If you click on an individual site, a little box with the metadata for that site pops up. And if you want a little bit more detail, you click on View Details, and it gives you information about the lab number, the location, the age, the error, and also a closer map view of that site. If you're interested in querying the database, you can do so by location, by site, or by sample. And if you search by location, you can type in the name of a country or the abbreviation of a state and get a list of radiocarbon dates from that area. If you search by site, you can type in a word that's contained in the site name and get a list of everything that matches that criteria. And if you search by sample, you can use the drop-down menu in the search bar and filter your search in a number of different ways. This is the page from which you will download the radiocarbon data into an Excel file, which you can save on your computer. The website allows public users to visualize the data and see site-specific metadata, but downloading it is restricted to users with an account. And to get an account, you can send a request via email to the admin responsible for the card. Each date in the card is associated with an academic reference, and there's a list of references on the website. And there's also a help page with a lot of useful information. If you're looking for the citation for the card, it's at the top. There's information on past versions of the card, and also a note about security. So the latitude and longitude information provided on the website is altered slightly to protect the integrity of the archaeological dig sites. Users who email the admin at the card and who want to use the data for academic or educational purposes can obtain a copy of the original latitude and longitude information. There's also information about uploading new data to the card. The admin responsible for the card encourage anyone working with this kind of data and anyone who has radiocarbon data to submit it to the database so that it can all be compiled in one location. And lastly, there's some information about the known errors in the CARD database. The website is still a work in progress, and the reason it says CARD 2.0 is because version 1 contained data from Canada and the US only, but new dates from everywhere else in the world have been added recently. And as of June 17th, 2016, there's exactly 44,681 dates in the database. But new data are being submitted regularly, and the admin are working towards creating a global radiocarbon database which would act as a repository for all academics, a place where everyone can access the same database. Lastly, if you scroll down to the bottom of the website, there's information on the history of the creation of the database. There's also information on the individual partners that are involved at the moment with building the database. You can find information about the principles behind radiocarbon dating, and also about publications that have used this database in the past. So once again, if you or anyone you know is working with radiocarbon data, you're more than welcome and you're encouraged to submit your dates to the database. If you have any questions, or if you'd like to get involved in building or maintaining the database, you can contact myself. My contact information is here. Or you can contact the director of the database, Andrew Martindale. His contact information is down here in the left.